the Manchester City case with the 115 charges. Again, Manchester City deny any wrongdoing, but I think it's massive because one of the factors, people always go on about the Premier League being the best league in the world, and they very rarely talk about the integrity being one of the factors. But for me, the integrity of the Premier League is one of the main factors that it became a global phenomenon, because it felt like a very honest form of football. You could make harder challenges in the Premier League. So already you were like, well, at least I'm not watching a league where one touch and players go down and they get given free kicks. Unfortunately, that has crept into the Premier League. But when it was growing, I think it was different to other European leagues for that reason. You could see Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira clatter each other. You could see the 50-50s. You could see a little bit of the aggression and physicality that I think football fans really always felt was part of the game. That had already left Italy. That had already left Spain. Spain was ridiculous. Italy was ridiculous for diving, but England still held on to that level of physicality. And to be honest, it's still more physical. Even this year going into the Premier League, it was an instruction to the officials to let a little bit more go. And the reason that the PGMO wanted to do that is because the feedback from fans is you're giving too many free kicks so you can let a little bit more go. So they've tried to do that this season. But integrity is important for English football because other leagues and other countries in the world, I've gone to places, Greece, Turkey, Premier League's absolutely massive. And I'm like, but you've got massive clubs here. And they're like, yeah, but over the years, the amount of things that have come out about this referee's been paid or this club's done
We've
this.
just tuned out. We're not interested.
That even though you might love your team, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Besiktas or Olympiacos, Panathinaikos, whoever, they're like, we can't really trust it. But then you go to African fans, same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
You go to South American fans, same thing. They've had so many issues with corruption over the decades in their leagues that one of the reasons the Premier League has become one of the world's league, in effect, is because a lot of these fans trust what they're seeing. Now, this is why I say all the time, the 115 charges when it comes to Manchester City, it's so important for the Premier League as a whole that there is some kind of justice. So when you saw Leicester and their financial thing, their loophole of, the date that we put our accounts in fell into a grey period where we were neither in the Premier League nor the Championship. They've managed to escape a points deduction from the EFL and the Premier League because the rules are written in a way that when they released their accounts, it fell outside of the scope of both. That loophole, if Manchester City get off on a technicality, a legal loophole, then there will be no definitive answer to their case and fans will not trust what the Premier League is. That's why I keep saying, I hope Manchester City are found to be innocent and completely exonerated. People don't believe me when I say this. I hope to God that Manchester City are proven to have done nothing wrong.
No, because the repercussions, if they're guilty,
But not if they're guilty. The reason I'm saying proven is that if Manchester City are found to be innocent, but it isn't proven, they walk out of the courtroom saying, see, the rules were written in a way that they couldn't charge us. So we get off without finding out what happened, without the process being played all the way through to a conclusion, and Manchester City have a Leicester happen to them, where everyone knows Leicester broke the rules. Leicester don't contend that they didn't break the rules. They just contend that the rules didn't affect them. They overspent. We all know they overspent. They clearly overspent what they would have, in inverted commas, been blocked from doing. But because of when their accounts went in, they said, well, those rules actually didn't affect us. It's not them saying we didn't spend loads of money. It's them just saying those rules are for the people whose accounts went in before that date and the rules that went in and our accounts went in the middle of that period. So I'm sorry. But they never said we didn't spend loads of money. The difference with Manchester City would be them saying, well, there you go. You shouldn't have charged us. You didn't have the jurisdiction. It didn't fall within European law. You could make any arguments for why Manchester City shouldn't be punished. Let me say that. Why Manchester City shouldn't be punished. But fans will not accept that case does not get played out to a conclusion, whether that's guilt, whether that's innocence. That's what we need to see. If we see sorry, Premier League, it was a grey area, you should have never charged us, so everything just gets dropped and fans never find out whether Manchester City actually broke the rules or not, that will undermine the integrity of the Premier League completely.
It'll just harden the distrust amongst fans even more so.
This is it.
So it's very dangerous in that sense, and hopefully that will get resolved conclusively one way or the other ASAP.